All right, what's going on, guys? Trev back again, here to bring you another live stream, Sunday night's live stream after what was an absolutely crazy week. So we'll give people a few minutes to go ahead and join, and then we'll get into some of the topics for tonight. Looks like I'm on time today for about 9 o'clock Eastern time, so that's good. Just let me know when one of you guys can hear me. Oh, we got Jeremiah. Welcome, Jeremiah. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining. And I got about 15 people so far, so that's good. And okay, great. See, Benny's here. What's up? See, Benny. We got Negan Spaghetti. That's a good name. I like that. Marcus T. Anthony. DeSantis, we got K-Ways is here, Manuel's here, Waffles, the cat is here, that's good. Tim, what's up, Tim? How you doing, man? Hope you're doing good. And Jermeeds says it right away. T should resign. Yeah, man, it's what craziness. So we'll get into JDM's comments here in a second. Negan calling out Trump. We got Dory here. We got Shannon Sizzle here. We got Murder 75. We got Jermeeds. Josh, how you doing, Josh? Demix. Guts is here. What's up? Guts, he says, hell, Tim F. Josh, how you doing, Josh? Deleted some videos. Yeah, so stream from last week, had to set to private. Video this week got deleted, and then I just turned the other one off. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna turn the other one off because I just got nervous. I'm like, I think they're gonna delete this one too. So I just disabled it. So I do apologize for this week. What happened, guys, is I had produced a few videos and I had published them, but then the one got disabled and everything, and I just got paranoid. And I was like, okay, I better just turn the other one off because set it to private. So it's set to private right now. Just wanting to stay out of the way of all the craziness that is about to ensue. Hey, Rob, how you doing this week? And thanks for the super chat, Rob. If you guys haven't subscribed to Rob's channel yet, Robert Frank 615. Thanks for all your support this year, Rob, or well, last year too. You don't always have to do that. You can just send. You can just send your questions. So you don't always have to super chat. But thank you. But so Rob was a little bit upset. Sounds like he read the comments from JDM that he had made about T beforehand. So let's read Rob's comment first, guys, and then we'll get into what JDM. Well, okay, why don't we come back to Rob's comment first? We'll read what JDM said, and then we'll kind of come back to it. And also Alpha, or Samantha Morton, who played Alpha in the Walking Dead television series, she checked into the hospital, and it sounds like she's doing okay now, but the question is, did she get, COVID? Did she get TS19? It sounds like she's on the way to getting better now, but that was, I guess, earlier in the week, this week, but it got kind of pushed back because of everything else. So what JDM had said, so I think he tweeted it. So bleedingcool.com. I'll put the link in the description. I'll paste it into the chat. I think it was top trending on Bleeding Cool and that kind of stuff, of what his comments were about, the situation and that. And so what he had said is after the event, so I guess this would have been likely Thursday, he said, what we saw yesterday, I sure hope everyone in capitals has figured it out. At real Donald Trump is the fraud, a clear and present danger to everything America stands for. He has to go. Resign. 25th Amendment, jail. At this point, it doesn't matter. He and his enablers must go. Oh, man. So that's oh, man. So some harsh words from Negan for the Donald. Kind of brutal. Oh, man. So, okay. So what did Rob say? We got Dwighty Boy here as well. So Rob said, I'm a huge Walking Dead fan, as you know, Trev, but I refuse to watch anymore after JDM's comments. Keep that shit to yourself. I didn't know he was a pinko liberal, but I should have known better. Rest in peace, Walking Dead. So, yeah, I understand. This also happened after the, what did they call that? The trivia thing. I posted it in the channel for you guys to watch. It was a Walking Dead reunion, but it was like a trivia thing. It wasn't really much of a reunion. Like they kind of got together on a Skype or what have you, on a live stream or a chat or what have you, and people were pretty upset about the comments afterwards because it was I don't know if I want to say it was kind of like right away. I think Andrew Lincoln got into some of the stuff with regards to the Georgia being such a progressive place and stuff like that. I almost feel like he had heard the feedback from World Beyond, and I feel like he had heard that people were upset because of what they did with, is it Felix? He couldn't help but have noticed that what's the guy's name, Nico or whatever, who plays Felix, is similar to Rick in a lot of ways. I mean, to say he's not just like he plays Felix like a gay Rick, as I've said before. I'm not going to retract that. He does. It's what it is. Not that I have a problem with that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. There isn't. But then Andrew Lincoln was saying in the thing right away, like he was you could kind of tell he was kind of pitching progressiveness, I guess, or pitching. But the identity stuff, it feels like it's just beginning. If you guys haven't been paying attention too much after the craziness on Wednesday and around that time, already Biden is already getting into the identity politics stuff like right away. like it hasn't taken long. He's already like, oh, I'm going to put this person in, put that person in. And it's like, and I don't care about all that stuff. I really don't care. But yeah, it is kind of sad to hear, like Rob's saying, Negan, JDM go after him. But here's the thing: is that they're going to want to lynch everybody involved. That's why I got one video disabled, and I just got nervous and I just disabled the other one, because I was like, they're going to go after, and we'll get into some of this here afterwards as well. That idiot who is I'm sure is an actor, the guy with the horns, the shaman guy, the letter after P group, a non-shaman guy. That guy, I am absolutely positive, is an actor. He's not a good actor either. It doesn't seem like he's very convincing in his role as this supposed crazy guy. He's actually I think people have found his IMDb, and he actually is an actor. So if you guys didn't know, like, he actually has had roles before, and he is an actor. And so he just got arrested today. So he was on the Alex Jones BH InfoWars thing, and they were kind of going back and forth. Some of the videos are on BitChute of them fighting back and forth, and he got arrested today. So so I would, like with what Rob is saying here too, is like, it is kind of sad, because I feel like they probably don't understand. I feel like probably most people don't understand, and I'm sure they don't, everything that's kind of transpired if they weren't watching it, because people have lives, they have stuff to do, and rightfully so, right? But the whole drain the swamp idea, he just ended up getting eaten by alligators, basically. And I don't think he's a shining white knight either. He's not. So it's sort of like you have an alligator in the swamp trying to drain the swamp of other alligators. At some point, he gets eaten alive. And is that not what we saw? He got eaten alive, right? Basically. So now they're going to want to lynch him. They're going to want to maybe throw him in jail, just like JDM had said. And I'm sure there's a lot of other sites saying, the same kind of thing. So they just want to, and he even said his enablers must go too. So, oh man, it's so sad, right, guys? Like, the whole thing is so sad. I feel like, okay, here's the thing about T. They made him into this, in the media, they made him into this supervillain character, which I have to say, I do not think he actually is. I do not think he is a supervillain type of, I understand a lot of people see him that way. I really don't think that he's that bad of a person or that bad of a guy or anything. Things just got out of control this week like crazy. And unfortunately, the worst part is it might have been sort of okay if people didn't get hurt. But there apparently, according to, if it's true in the news, that there's 4 people now deceased from what happened on Wednesday, which is brutal, right? Really brutal. So anybody involved with that, they're going to go after. Now, here's what I think. The crazy guy with the horns that went into the offices and went into the thing and was in all the pictures and stuff, he's already been arrested already. So now, will he get out? Because I think he's an actor as a part of some intelligence agency. In fact, I'm almost certain he is. So will he get out? Maybe, or they could just leave him hanging, like leave him out to dry, like, oh, you had your bit, we were involved with you. Because there are some pictures of him. What's his name? Is it Jacob something like that? Is that lunatic's name with the with the horn stuff. That crazy guy. So that guy, let's see if I can find a picture for everybody. So he's already been, but anybody who is affiliated with that side of things, they're going to go after, and they're going to go after hard, which is really, can I say it's sad to say? I just think the whole thing is sad. So if you guys don't know the event on Wednesday, what happened is, I did a video on it, but I had to take it down. Basically, Alex Jones had organized a protest on the 6th. There was the 5th, and then they were there, but the 6th was the main key. So they organized an event for the 6th, and apparently 1 million people showed up, or hundreds of thousands. Maybe 1 million is an exaggeration, but maybe it's not. Maybe there were 1 million people in the streets, right? So as such, you had the speakers were supposed to be Alex Jones, or BH. He's an agent as well, too. So don't get confused here to think that he's just some independent InfoWars guy. He admitted it costs $25 million a year to run InfoWars. So I'm just sitting here thinking like, okay, it costs you $25 million a year to run your operation, and you expect me to believe that you're not connected? Well, he is connected. He admits that too. He even leaves during some of the live streams to make some calls into the CIA and the FBI because he lost control of the situation. So you have intelligence agencies all throughout. They organize, because Alex Jones is the one who put up, he also put up $500,000 to do the protest event. Okay. So he put up $500,000. He got it back by somebody. Somebody reimbursed him for it. So somebody got him back for the $500,000 that he put up to do the event, right? But he put it up ahead of time. Now, let's ask a question first. How many of us have $500,000 to put up for an event? Nobody, right? He has admitted in the past before he's CIA, or he talks to people in CIA all the time. He said General Flynn, all these other people. He is involved. He's like an in-between. He's definitely not an independent. There's no doubt about that. He is likely an agent, right, in the middle, and he talks to people in the CIA and the FBI all the time, right? So he's a middle gatekeeper, middle of the road type of guy. So will he be arrested because he organized the deal? I would predict, don't bet on it. At least I would be surprised if he got arrested for what happened, because he is doing a job on behalf of the establishment. He's basically, the way I view it is, he's an establishment, anti-establishment guy. He is a placeholder for a idea of a resistance idea, which is there. They put it there on purpose to stifle dissent, basically, or to control it, so they can control it with him being there. So I would not think that he will be arrested or anything bad will happen to him. So he put the money down in the event on Wednesday, $500,000 cash. He got it back after. More people showed up than it looks like they were able to handle, or they thought would show up. Now, they had a speaking stage in one section, and they had kind of the cameras and everything in a certain spot. And that's what they were focused on. Now, when they were doing that, they were doing the speaking, and 1 million people or hundreds of thousands show up, whatever the case may be. There was these guys with orange hats on. You can look at them on BitChute. Probably not YouTube. They'll probably delete it. But these guys with orange hats showed up. And it sounds like to me, the dudes with the orange hats were either an intelligence agency operation or were some other renegade group. Now, what it seems like they did is these guys dressed in the gear of T's supporters. What they did is they dressed in the gear as them, and they were formidable. They were able to basically egg the others on and push through the lines in the spots where they weren't. It seems like there were spots where they were kind of allowed to go, and other spots they weren't. So while it seems like T was giving his speech as usual, like he always does, he shows up, he does his thing, he does his speech, whatever, and BH or Alex Jones was doing his thing or whatever, bullhorn, whatever. There were so many people there. Other adjacent groups just ignored it all and went into the Capitol, basically, and just went for it. Now, there were certain sections where the officers there just left the gates open. They just let them in. And there's all the video evidence of that on BitChute. Different videos have them, come on in, come on in. They moved the barriers and they let people in. So there's certain sections where the people were allowed in and the doors were opened. And then there was also sections where people were allowed with the doors being open into the Capitol as well. Now, some of those guys who were taking shots with some, new, like super high quality cameras, like cameras that we don't own, like $5,000, $10,000 cameras, right? Like the guy with the stupid, the stupid guy with the shaman, the crazy shaman guy. What he's probably not even crazy. Well, you got to be a little crazy to do that kind of a job, right? But anyway, he goes in. So his job is basically to make it look ridiculous in all the press. Mission accomplished, right? Good job, man. You made it look absolutely ridiculous. And that's the point. That's the idea. His job is to make T supporters look ridiculous, completely ridiculous. So so he did his job, right? And now he's arrested, whatever. Okay, fine. Again, he'll probably be let out. He could be an agent for, who knows, 17 different intelligence agencies in the States. You have, in addition to that, other groups. You have Mossad. You have, I don't think the English probably have much to do with this one. It doesn't seem like they were involved in this one, really. Black Cube. You have guys like Steve P. Pachenik, who was on InfoWars, who was talking up this crazy letter after P narrative that was completely intelligence agency controlled and nonsense. Now, what were they trying to do with that group? I would say discredit T and his followers and these kind of people. A lot of them have already been deleted. A lot of them have shut down their stuff. There are some people like, I think, SGT Report, X22 Report, people like this that were these letter after P gurus, which they're playing this 3D, 5D, like he's a savior, he's saving. Okay, none of that is correct. That's all nonsense, okay? All psyop. The whole thing is a psyop, and I feel maybe the biggest victims of the whole thing are the people that got tricked by that psyop into thinking that that was all somehow real. All right, so you have this organized thing. You have all these different groups show up, but the media paints it as one group, one leader, right? Or two leaders, maybe. You say maybe T and Alex Jones. So maybe you say two leaders, really, because fair enough, you have to admit that he put the money down, so he matters. And obviously T matters too. So the media just paints it as, they put it in every paper there is, just T supporters. That's the only people that showed up there. They don't go into the fact that you have these different factions with the guys with the orange hats so they can tell each other, so they can see who's who, right? Basically, sabotage, pretty much. So you have kind of the, as David Icke has gone into a bunch of times, the Sabbatean Frankist type of angle, which is that you, like a Steve Pachenik, that type of thing, you go in and you pretend to be letter after P, you pretend to be on their side, but really you're against them. So this is like the Satanist angle again, right? It's like you have your shoulders. So the good side, if you're in the establishment, says stop them from getting in, right? That's what the good side says. It says put the cops, get all the cops there, make sure they have enough, make sure they stop these people from doing what they're doing because it's dangerous. The other side says, no, let them in, right? Bring the cameras, you see? So these are the different sides of things. So basically, you had intelligence agencies organizing the event, being involved in the event, Secret Service protecting the president, which is their key deal. He's given a speech, you got to protect him. So they're protecting him while all this chaos is going on in the background behind them. And then who gets the heat for it is those two, basically. So absolutely crazy stuff. It's terrible to hear that 4 people went down from that. I don't know if you guys saw the brutal one of the lady who was a 14-year Army. Was it Army or, well, anyway, she was a, well, it wasn't the Army. It was something like that. Anyway, she went in, she went to climb in a section and she got shot. So it was brutal. So I don't know if you've seen those videos. If you have, you have. They're brutal. If you haven't, maybe don't watch them. Too brutal. Terrible stuff. So, oh, man. The whole thing, totally crazy, totally out of control. You wish none of it ever happened. Obviously, we all do. And what it's going to, okay, so now let's get into what is it going to do? What is it going to change going forward? Well, it's likely going to make it like, if we ever thought there was censorship before, I mean, now it's going to be like, to the moon, man, because they're going to be afraid that people can influence, like the honeypot, the letter after P group, which was a psychological operation. And I don't really hear much from people. I don't really put much stake into people who don't think there was some intelligence agencies involved with the Anon group. I'm certain there were. So now it's going to be like anybody saying anything that goes against the mainstream angle is going to be, lynched, basically. So it's brutal, man. So definitely dark days. I'm sad the whole thing happened, and I'm sure the media is never going to let it down. That idiot with the horns and that kind of stuff. I mean, just, oh man. But he's an actor, so I got to remember, remember, Trevor, he's an actor, right? So it's not just some random idiot guy. You can even tell when he was on the interview with Alex, he was talking to him. They had an interview, Infowars.com, you can listen to it, of that nutcase, well, the actor character nutcase with the horns, talking to Alex Jones about it. And even Alex Jones loses it on him. And it's kind of funny, actually, when he basically slams the desk and tells him that you're lying. He just goes into it. I'm tired of your shit. You're lying. Because, and the fact that it undermined everything he was trying to do, which you can see what Alex Jones was trying to do was to have a peaceful rally to show support for it, his president, for your president, and to have a lot of people there to make a statement. But, that wouldn't be allowed to happen without the opposition getting in there, pretending to be them. And then you also have the fanatics who really believed the letter after P was real. They actually thought it was real. Like, they were getting these letter after P drops, and they were like, oh man, he's taking down the cabal. He's draining this one. It's like, no, he's not. He's, at best case scenario, he's trying to do a few good things, like end wars and stuff like that, which is good. But aside from that, man, what can you do? But yeah, like Rob said, it is. I know it's just like, I get what you're saying, Rob, and everything. And it's like, I just think that, they're just, people are tired of it, right? They don't want to hear. To them, it's like who represents the bad guy to you? If in your mind this person represents the bad guy, then you're gonna speak out against it, and you're gonna be like, no, that's the bad guy over there. And this is what Mind Wars is. Let me go into Mind Wars with you guys and psychological operations. Let's see if you guys are we still on? Yeah, we're still on, right? Okay. So, all right. We have to go into psychological operations. So this kind of stuff, you can look into this. All right, let's go into, like, if you want to say you're in Iraq or something like this, okay, during a time when you don't want to be in Iraq. Okay, let's say when Bush is in, right? Okay, some of the psychological operations they would run would be like this, for example. Instead of just sending in tanks with guys everywhere, and you got your air support, whatever, you got all your different things. Some of the vehicles they would have would be PSYOP type vehicles. So they could come in, let's say, with a Jeep full of the loudest speakers you can imagine, the biggest subwoofers ever. And they would play, and they actually do this in worse scenario situations. They would blare out sounds of war and explosions and all this stuff. So you have people defending the city, and they're coming in. They would have these different Jeeps set up with super loud speakers. And here's what they would do. They would play them in different spots, let's say where there was nothing happening. So you would have people who are trying to defend a city, and you would have these super loudspeaker Jeeps that get run around. And the people who are defending, let's say snipers and people like this, they would hear over in different spots these giant loudspeakers on Jeeps. And they would think, oh shit, the enemy's over there. We got to go that way, right? And then they would rush over here, and then they would see nothing there. And then they would look over here, and they'd say, oh, no, it's over there. We got to go this way. And they would run over there, and they think, oh, the battle's over here, right? So psychological operations, part of their use could be to basically, in Mind Wars, confuse the enemy down to the point where they just don't know what's happening, right? First, they say, the enemy's over there. Let's take a little while and drive over there. They say, oh, no, they're over here. No, we go over here, right? We go back here. Oh, we go over here. and you basically lose sense of what's happening, and then they attack you in a spot you never expect, right? So that's part of psychological operations. Now, what I think is wrong is anybody in U.S. military intelligence that might have been involved with the letter after P group and what they were doing with them and making them think all this stuff, or the channels that were promoting, or the people that were promoting this letter after P stuff, really bad, dudes, really bad stuff, because you did that. You basically confused the hell out of them to get them to pacify and do nothing, right? And that's what happened. So, man, it's nasty stuff. You never want to see psychological operations used against your own people or against civilians. But, I guess, how do you prevent civil W, right? You prevent civil W by maybe, I don't know, controlling both sides to a degree, by manipulating the public, by making sure all of the different news companies are on board with the same message all the way across. So the internet was something, I almost feel like maybe to a degree it was an experiment in some ways, that they tried some different things here to see what people would believe, what they wouldn't, and kind of, or to, if they were really against T, then maybe they did it on purpose to, take the whole thing into bizarro world, into crazy world. And I know some people, I won't mention any names, but I know some other, presenters, big time presenters, conspiracy researchers, people like this, who actually put some faith into the letter after P group. They actually thought it was maybe plausible, or they thought about like maybe it was real, that he was taking down the cabal and all this stuff. It's like, no. Now, it does seem to me there was some heat there that, because sometimes what happens is things can start as a work. So you could have, for example, a WWE match where two guys are going against each other. And then at some point, somebody could, instead of pulling a punch, actually connect with the other guy. And then all of a sudden, what can happen is a situation can turn into an actual fight. Because let's say you go in there with Brock Lesnar or somebody like that, and it's a work. He's a little bit stiff. He's, a little bit rough with you. He's working. He's not stiffing you real hard, but maybe a little bit. And then you stiff him back a little bit. Then he stiffs you back a little bit. You stiff him back. And then before you know it, pretty soon it can turn into an actual fight. Maybe that's an okay representation of what sort of happened over the last couple of years with the Donald, which is that they had a back and forth. And he's kind of talked about this speech too, because he said that he would go one way and then, the news companies would come back and they would battle back and forth, right? And he was saying, well, maybe it's that that's what's going to happen. But yeah, anybody who's involved with that deal because of what happened on Wednesday, there's going to be such a huge portion, unfortunately, because of wingnuts like that guy with the horns that are just going to want to, go after him. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate, guys. Well, maybe it's my connection there, that ghost. Let's see if we can keep going, eh? Yeah. What's up, babe? It's good? Oh, I think we're online. Sorry if it's lagging for you guys. I'll keep trying here. Okay, Dr. Death said, some say it was all to get Pelosi's laptop. Yeah, no. See, that's that letter after P craziness again. No, that was not the case. They did not do all of that just to get someone's laptop. That is insane. So, all right, sounds like we're good. We're back now, guys. So maybe less lag now. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so let's see where we're at. Yeah, Josh, I don't want to talk bad about, I like Mark. I don't want to talk bad about anybody. You know what I mean? Like even the X20, what I do think it's unfortunate right now of explaining what happened there that we could get. But, well, he might be for now, but they might impeach him. They might get rid of him. But, if everyone will go along with it. Now, if they do that, I don't think he can ever run again. Like in would it be 2024? Is that when the next one would have been? I don't think he's going to ever have another one. What else did you say there, Rob? So he said, Miro, so if you're anti-criminal, you're anti, yeah. Well, emotions right now certainly are high. That's for sure. emotions are probably higher than ever. So I don't want to get into, any kind of back and forth, divide and conquer thing. Divide and conquer works too well for the super elite, right? So you get to see, like, it's just unreal, man, how well it works for them. So I'm not going to get tricked into that. We're all basically regular people. We're all on the same page as far as I'm concerned. So, but what did Welpity Fu say? He said there were T supporters wearing Black Ops gear inside the Capitol, trying to arrest politicians who were against him. Yeah, I don't know, but basically, it's a schmoz, right? It's hard to tell exactly what was happening, but yeah, there was intelligence agencies all throughout the thing. So the whole media angle that there wasn't intelligence agencies all in there, there were. If T was going to do something like that, then he would have maybe called for martial law, that kind of thing, and started to really go for it. But everybody turned against him and stopped him. So, now at this point, he might as well just basically, stay away. I think he's been banned off social media as well. So I'm pretty sure he's been banned straight off. So at this point, he might as well just basically let it go and and let things play out as they will. Maybe they'll impeach him, maybe they won't. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. He's there in the establishment of them, like some of the establishment in the U.S. Maybe he became a legitimate threat to them, and so they decided to push him out of everything. Because I don't think anybody would talk to him. They basically blocked him out. So he was not able to communicate with his intelligence agencies. He didn't know what was happening. He probably couldn't trust it. Nothing, man. So that's the power of the pyramid, right? That's the power of the intelligence agencies. It's like if you want to ask who runs the U.S., really, it's not the White House, really. It's the CFR, Council on Foreign Relations, and the intelligence agencies, pretty much. That's who runs the U.S. It's not really whoever sits in the White House, not in my opinion anyway. And we got to see that here. Look at how foolish they made him look, man. He'll never live this down, and no one will have any idea. No one will know, basically. He'll be the bad guy in everyone's mind, and that's just what it will be. So, yeah. So, okay, let's see. Are we still on? We didn't get shut off, did we? I think we're okay. Yeah, the left versus right idea is just divide, man. It's all the swamp. It's all, you might as well just be a collectivist and say it's all government. It's all the same thing. You're on this side, you're on that side. Shit, sometimes I think maybe if they could say, hey, we can't use you on this side, why don't you go over that side and pretend to be like this? And the people would switch. It's like, it doesn't matter. And or take it like this, right? You have the right-wing followers who are there, but all of a sudden they become fanatics and become left-wing and go trash the place. It's like the left-right idea, I think, is personally stupid. I don't give any credit to it whatsoever. But what we saw there in terms of the storming and all of that was a left-wing behavior. That was not a right-wing type of trust the establishment. What else did they do, right? It's like, order and that whole thing. Yeah. So no, I don't buy the left versus right idea whatsoever. It's just total. It's all theater, man. The whole thing is theater. But what happened with this theater is that you had other people that had ulterior motives. But the idea of some people being let in and taking pictures on $4,000 cameras or like professional cameras that looked ridiculous, that even their costumes like synced up with each other, right? So it's like, oh man, ridiculous. Okay, let's see where we are for being caught up. So yeah, so Samantha Morton for Walking Dead was in the hospital, I think, for TS19 for COVID, and JDM made that post telling Trump to get lost, basically. Which, at this point, that's like what's going to happen, because there's nothing he can do no matter what anyway, regardless of the situation. You actually cannot challenge the pyramid. You actually can't. I know people try to say like, oh, this resistance idea and all that stuff. Man, you can't, man. No, you can't. It's just gonna make it worse for everybody, because power lies where people believe power lies. So if people believe the power is over here, they're going to go there. Just because one guy makes a good stance or can speak well or has a following, they're not going to, if everybody else is turning on him, they're not going to go with him. They're going to go against him. And that's just all there is to it. So, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Alfie Font says, none of your opinions are important. You're all slaves. He says, that's nice. That's great. I got some other stuff prepped. So, but anyway, that's the Walking Dead stuff. Yeah. So, but everybody stay cool. All right. Here's what I'll say to you guys as far as going forward. Try to stay cool. Try not to get sucked into the left versus right deal. Try to stay calm. You know, maybe stay out of it past that. You know, when you're posting online, be careful what you post. I'm going to be super careful as I can be, you know, going forward. And, you know, that's basically all we can really do because, yeah, it's just going to be, yeah, I don't know, dark rain or something. Yeah. So I don't know. Okay. What else we got here? So, yeah, yeah, you know, I'm already fed up. This is from Proud Catholic Anti-Commie Michigander. He said he brought up a comment about the whole the identity politics stuff going on. It's like, man, you know, that's the one thing that makes me the most sad going forward is like, you know, this identity politics thing is just like I think it's so sad, man. It's so sad that they actually, first of all, that they actually want to do this and start to gear system based on identity or sexual orientation or gender or anything. You know, the system should be run based on who is the best person for the position. If you want to have some spots available for different nationalities based on whatever, then that's fine. But, you know, you should not be selecting people just because of their identity. And you shouldn't be demonizing others just because of theirs. But it works really well, and I just hope they don't get too crazy with the whole demonizing of you know, certain parties. You know, so yeah. That ghost said that Hunter's pictures got leaked. I haven't looked at those yet. That ghost, but yeah, if they got leaked, man, I mean, they waited to leak them until there was nothing anyone could do about it, right? If they would have released them before when they had them, then, you know, it would have been maybe the things would have gone a different way. But that's what happens when you take on the pyramid is that everything always goes their way. Even if it's ludicrous, the people couldn't know that his son is a pedophile. Then, you know, even if it's like everybody should know that if you're going to, you know, run for president, that your son is into that stuff and is doing that stuff and there's pictures of it or proof of it. Everybody should know it. But the pyramid literally can stuff it down and literally nobody knows about it, right? They can literally control the information so that people don't even know that. And that's really crazy, man. So, but I guess, did they let it out now? Do they post them? Well, it's at a point now where I guess they can, and that's fine, right? Oh, that's sad too, man. It's like, wow. Okay, what did we get after that? So, Dr. Death, last one. Cancel culture. Someone says something about cancel culture. It's going to be crazy, man. Yeah, that's right, Spike. It's so horrible. But to think that they let this guy in, knowing that he's a criminal, knowing that he's a Zio gangster, basically, is like dark rain. Like, what the hell? And then people have no idea that's the deal. They don't even know. And it's like, oh my God. Oh my God. It's like, oh, the T's out, we're saved. It's like, no, no, I don't think so. Oh God, man, what can you do? It's so dark, man. It's so dark. No wonder why people just live in total ignorance of all this stuff. It's like you just stay in the dark about all of it. Okay, let's see what else I had for Walking Dead. I think I'm caught up on your guys' comments and stuff. Oh man, yeah. Peyote Pete wants to know who the saviors would be under Negan. Would they be Dems or perhaps? I don't know. I guess maybe Republicans. Actually, maybe they would be. Oh man, will he release anything, Zach, before he leaves? I doubt it. I doubt he'll release. I don't think he can do anything. I think he's locked out entirely. I don't think he can do shit. He can't do anything. He's basically sidelined 100%. You know, he's not even in power right now. He has no power. And he probably hasn't for a while. You could argue maybe he never did have that. Well, he had some. Yeah, he had some before. But because he took it, he didn't listen to people. So, yeah. Eli asked, are me and Jess dating? No, we're married. So there's that. Order out of chaos, said Shannon, so that's good. 30 seconds said, just take the red pill. I copied your comment. You said 30 second about why people kind of just go along to get along. Maybe I'll read that in a minute here. Okay, let's see. Oh, man. Oh, it's crazy, that ghost. I just read your last comment. I'm not going to read it. Yeah, they got into Mr. D said, the letter after P people fell for the trap. Now the left has the excuse to take more rights from the rest of us. Yeah. It's sad, right, Mr. D? It's sad, man. It's going to work. You know what I mean? It's just like, that's it. So, Jackie, yeah, you're about right about that. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Oh, man. It's so sad, right? So, anyway, we'll stay calm. I won't get to, yeah. Yeah, they blocked him out. They banned him off everywhere. He can't say anything. He can't defend himself. He can't do anything. And the saddest part is, I don't think he would have wanted any of this to happen and for the others to kind of hijack what was happening there. That's sort of what happened, right? Is the intelligence agencies got all into what they were doing and rammed it in. And then on the other side, let it in. It was a total, not a work because people got hurt, but it was a total takeover of something that was probably good to create chaos, to really put a final nail in that coffin. Trev, have you read George Orwell's 1984 UTC? I've looked through it a little bit. I get the gist of it. I haven't read it line for line. No, I just got the gist of it, summary. I understand what it is. I understand it, but there's not a whole lot we can do, guys. There's not a whole lot anybody can do. The politicians are basically, see, I think Noam Chomsky said that you can't have both true democracy and capitalism because the capitalists will buy off the democracy, right? That's what will happen. The capitalists will buy off the democracy, right? And that's what we have. The capitalists have bought it off. So it doesn't, it's like whatever. You get someone in you don't like and they just get rid of him. So, okay, let's see what else we got here. All right. So we went into that a little bit. Right. Yeah. Okay. So Alpha's in the hospital, but it sounds like she's getting better. Samantha Morton's getting better. She's in the hospital. She's getting better. So hopefully, but she said, wear a mask. And she says she's on the mend. So sounds like she's getting better and she wants everyone to wear a mask. I'll just read what she said. So I won't comment. Absolute madness. How do you guys like the start to your 2021 so far? Madness, right? Unbelievable. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, The Simpsons predicted all this. They probably did, right? At some point, I don't know about that. Maybe the idiot guy with the horns. Maybe he was predicting The Simpsons. Maybe I don't know. Maybe that could have just been a Photoshop. I'm not sure. Yeah, Jeff, I agree with you. I just want you guys to stay cool, to take care of yourselves, do your best, and try to keep positive mindset because. It's what it is. So that goes said, T will release alien info before he leaves to prove you wrong. Yeah, no, he won't. Now they're going to use that for an angle later. They started building that up already. The alien deal's coming. They're going to do the alien deal probably next year or the year after or something. Maybe they can do it with B so he can get some fans, right? Nobody likes him, so they can do it with him. At least, well, they only like him because he's not T. That's it. They like B because he's not T. That's it. That's the only reason, right? It's like, I'll go with him. He's not this guy, so I'll go with him, right? But nobody actually likes him. They just go with him because he's not him. That's all. He has he maybe has a little charisma. Not much. Not much. Marcia said, Trap, have you ever watched those political cartoons on YouTube? Pelosi, ADC, Schumer, Trump, hysterical. Well, I don't know. I'm not too into the comedy stuff. I actually want to know I was most interested in what was actually happening between the different parties in the U.S. with regards to the media being so against your guy's president, which as usually doesn't happen because the media is controlled by the CIA and by Freemasonry and Zionism. So to have a media that's against your president was interesting. I was trying to figure out what's going on there because that's a work that shouldn't happen. The media should never be against your political leader unless someone got elected that wasn't supposed to and they want him out. And then they want to bash him every day. Or if it's a work and they're just playing Mind Wars. So, yeah. or somewhere in the middle, right? Something like that. Yeah, Kelly says the elites want an equilibrium society. Well, maybe for us, but they don't want to be equal to us. Or do you mean an equilibrium like the movie type of society, like a 1984 society? You'll have to get back to me, Kelly, on what you meant about that. Thank you for the super chat. End NWO said. So his name is End NWO. And he said, it's not a coincidence that the character in The Walking Dead that wore a mask is telling people to put on a mask. Predictive programming. Yeah, right. Yeah, Alpha tells people to wear a mask. Predictive programming. Yeah, sure. Okay, well, in that case, I'll say probably. Well, I'm actually, you got me thinking for there for a second. That's kind of interesting, right? It's like, well, we don't have any proof to say anything, but that's kind of interesting. But I do notice it's interesting how many people in the spotlight seem to get this thing. When you look around, it's like, how many people around here got this thing? I don't know. Anyway, so I'm not sure. But thank you, NWO and NWO. So it's a good name. I like it. Sam Palmquist said, do you think actors, mainly Walking Dead actors, should keep their opinion out of politics, especially JDM, as they have a huge influence? Well, you're right, Sam, that they have a huge influence. That's right. And that's actually why a lot of the top celebrities have to sign up with a particular affiliation group, be it Freemasons, maybe Zionists, or Scientology, or these other background groups, so that they can be controlled, because they don't want them to get out of, they don't want to take their following out of control somewhere, right? So you're right that they do mostly stay out of it. I'm not mad at JDM for saying that or anything. I understand Rob didn't like the comment, everything like that. I get it. It's just that, they're going to, it's natural that after what they saw happened, they want to blame somebody right away. And who better to blame than the person who was speaking there, who was doing everything there. But, from their logic, on their side of things, if he wasn't speaking there, that wouldn't have happened. And if Alex Jones didn't put the money down to do the event, that wouldn't have happened. So it's probably a fair criticism as well, or at least on the surface layer, it's fine to blame him. The thing is that people don't realize there's all this other stuff happening behind the scenes with other groups involved, dressing as people like that part and smashing it in, and, this different stuff, or them being allowed in certain spots. So it's I don't blame anybody in terms of, okay, they have an opinion, they hate this person because they view that person as dangerous. And actually, if someone challenges the pyramid, they sort of are kind of dangerous, because the pyramid is going to want to squash them. And so if somebody does something they're not supposed to do, or they have a huge following of 1 million people in the street, the pyramid can take that through the intelligence agencies, and they can steer that where they want that to go, at least in some ways, or at least they could make it be chaotic and then use the news to do whatever they want with it. But it's I don't think there's anything wrong with them posting their opinions. That'd be us. See, that'd be us censoring them if we were to say, like, oh, you're not allowed. Everybody's allowed to have an opinion, and I don't think I don't say it's bad for them to voice their opinion, because then we're censoring them. You see, and that's the whole problem. So no, I think it's okay that they're voicing their opinion. They're letting people know. And it's also true. Here's what's also true, that one side has to win, right? One side has to beat the other. So either he wins or the pyramid wins. If it's a versus match, the pyramid's going to win one way or another because of international control. So even if something happened in the U.S. and someone took over, basically, the pyramid would get the other countries to attack the U.S. and would beat them eventually. It wouldn't be right away, but eventually they would, which is what happened in World War II, basically. Germany went solo, and all the other countries pretty much jumped on them, right? Except for like Japan, maybe, and Italy. Was Italy? Whatever the Axis powers were. They weren't much, considering it. Once Russia came on board, it was like, yeah, okay, they're going to get smashed, right? So it's like, if you're going to have a versus, the pyramid's going to win, right? So you kind of have to, from the other side, say, well, do you have any ability to win? No, not really. Okay, then you have to let it go, right? And if you don't, then it just gets more people hurt than if you did let it go. So That's it. But no, I wouldn't be a fan of censoring anybody, even if you don't agree with their opinion. And certainly there's a lot of weight to what he's saying, which is just step aside and stop, so that we can just kind of go back under one rule and you don't have this back and forth, this dichotomy of versus, right? Because once you get a versus situation, that's when people start getting hurt. Even if it's for a moral cause, you say, well, it's moral for us to have a versus. Okay, fair enough. But don't you think that the price for that will be blood? There will be blood if there's going to be a versus for a struggle for power. There will be blood. Like, that's just, look at World War II, right? So going along, even if it's totalitarianism, basically, if you try to go against it, most likely you won't win, and then it'll just be, kind of bad for you, right? So health-wise and everything. Okay, I feel like I'm missing some. Okay, Sam sent through another one. Thank you, Sam. I'm going to go through yours in a minute. I just don't want to miss any here. But should they stay out of it? I don't want to censor. I wouldn't want to censor them. They're entitled to have their opinion, whatever it is. Hazel L said, woke liberals are completely oblivious to their use a racism word, and condensation towards blacks. They truly believe they are too inferior to achieve anything on merit. Okay, so I thank you for the super chat, but just give me 1 second. I'm just gonna mute myself for a sec here, guys. All right, I might have to take a break for just a minute here soon, guys. All right, I'll answer this one, then I'll take a break for 5 minutes and we'll resume. So Hazel says, so woke liberals completely oblivious to their... Yeah, so, well, it's definitely a tricky issue, that's for sure. They can't... Yeah, I agree. I don't know how am I supposed to comment on this. I'm not really, we can't really, not really allowed to comment about it, right? Because I just hate it because it's like, everybody's making it about race, and it's like, who cares about that? You know what I mean? It's just, no one, there's nothing wrong with anybody of a certain race, whether they be this color, that color, whatever. And, it's just like, it's a non-starter. There's nothing you can do about it. But to select people just based on their, race is also bad too. Like, you shouldn't just select people just because they are. If they can't, achieve based on merit. You're absolutely right. So yeah, but past that, we probably can't. If you want to send another comment through, Hazel, I can read it, but we just can't even, talk about it because I'd be so worried about censorship. But they can't, you're right, they can't achieve things based on merit. They don't have to be given or handed everything over. I have my own ideas as to what it might be about. Like why they might be doing the whole deal anyway for the identity politics, but it's sad. But there's that's what's going to happen, especially with B. If he's doing that already, like crazy already, then certainly going forward, that's going to be the case. Okay, Sam P also said, and thank you again for the super chat, Sam. He said, yeah, that's true. But people love JDM. They love Negan, right? And if he says something, most of his fans will follow suit after him. That's why it's so dangerous. Also, what are your opinions on CW happening? Well, that's why they banned T, right? They banned him off Twitter because they're worried that what he says will incite his followers to do something. So they banned T because of the exact reason you're saying. So if you're saying, well, Negan shouldn't be able to do it, JDM shouldn't be able to do it because he might do something this way, we have to, they agree with you because they're doing that to who they view as the enemy, which is T. Right? So they view T as the enemy and him as the one who needs to be silenced. So that's what they've done. Well, that's censorship culture, cancel culture. And it looks like that's what we're going to see because the internet has become so pervasive and so powerful that they now are going to want to control everything. I even heard Melinda Gates, right? Bill Gates' wife. And I swear it was like she was saying exactly what I was saying about online censorship. She even talked about how on television they have broadcasting licenses and they have this stuff, and on the internet anyone could say anything. So I think she's mad because so many people were flaming Gil Bates online that she's like wants censorship so bad. Like she's gonna like they're gonna push, and they got a lot of money, so they can make shit happen and contacts and everything. Like if you think if Gil Bates calls Zuckerberg and he's like, hey, can you do this and this for me? Zuckerberg, I'll get right on that, Mr. Gates. It's done. Done, like 5 minutes, done. You know what I mean? Like that's it. So oh man, it's crazy times, guys. But yeah, the censorship stuff is gonna get insane. Will there be a civil W, Sam? No, because the side with T has been pushed out already and silenced. So you won't have anything like that because you won't have a back and forth. You'll just have one party. So totalitarianism does bring peace for the most part, as long as the leader at the top decides not to have any kind of craziness happen. So that's one good thing about totalitarianism, is that you don't have any kind of opposition to knock back and forth in mind wars or war, any other kind of wars, right? So you won't see anything like that because this person's going to be pushed out because people are too worried. They don't want to see that. So this person will be pushed down and pushed out, and you won't see it anymore. And people will resume life as per usual and just go with the other side. So I have to go downstairs for a minute, guys, but I'll be back in a couple minutes. I don't think I missed any. Okay, we got one from Menace. So Menace, I do. Okay. Yeah, let's just read his first, and then we'll come back and we'll answer after. So Menace 1 to 5 said, Trev, what are your opinions on the letter after P group Anon's predictions for 10 days of silence and a Trump military takeover? No, that's not going to happen. No, they won't give it up. You know, the Anon idiots, the letter after P group, that's not going to happen. They're not going to listen to him. Nobody is going to listen to T. Basically, it's pretty simple. Either he's going to win or the establishment's going to win. Just take him out of the picture. Let the establishment win, and nobody really gets too badly hurt. But it's going to suck that there won't be, you know, any opposition to what the pyramid wants to do, because B is just going to go along with every single thing they ask. Green initiatives, got it. Identity politics, got it. What else is he going to do? What else did he get in on? You know, I don't even think anyone paid attention to what he was going for. Green Deal stuff, which is just internationalism anyway. Right. Making sure people don't see his son's laptop. Right. And, you know, that's it. Just he's basically going to do whatever he's told. So, no, there won't be any Anon craziness. If this taught us anything, it's to stop with the crazy predictions of Anon, or this is going to happen and that's going to happen. No, nothing's going to happen. He's going to be pushed out. It's done. It's over. And going forward, you're going to have establishment 100%, international, you know, a division establishment, unless they do some kind of like, you know, resistance against him thing. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think people have had enough of that already. Okay, I will be right back. Just a minute, guys. I'm just going to pause for 1 second. Okay, I'll be right back 1 second. Okay, sorry guys, I just had. Oh man, what's that? Okay, let's see where we're at here. So we finished off with Menace 1 to 5. So yeah, no, I don't think there'll be any military anything. I don't think anything like that's going to happen. I think that everybody's going to, realize that they don't want anything like that, and that it's better to just kind of go along with whatever. I don't think anybody in the establishment is going to want to do anything about it. It's just going to basically continue as it has been. So, yeah, that's all there really is. That's all there really is to it. But yeah, no, like Sam said, no CW. I don't think so. No, I really don't think so. I think that the pyramid got everything they wanted. Basically, they made him and his supporters look terrible, and so they achieved exactly what they wanted. And unfortunately, people did get hurt as well. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, yeah. Mopar said, "See, I answered Dory." Yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, that fast, Mr. Murder? No, it wouldn't be that fast. Yeah. Well, Trickster, for the most part, they actually have been so far, right up until now. Let's see. Yeah, it could be a little bit laggy. I do apologize if it's a little bit laggy, guys. Hopefully it's not. Yeah, The Walking Dead's not back yet, BTNJ. It's going to be back at the end of next month or so. End of February, it'll be back on. So, yeah, it'll be back pretty soon. Let's see. Time for Secession. Yeah, that's from Louis Cotrone. Yeah, pretty much. I think that's basically what we're going to see one way or another. He's probably not going to have any choice. You mean like... I'm just seeing what you mean. Okay, no, I think that he will. He's already conceded. No? He's already basically been shut down. So I think that'll just continue, and nothing else will really happen as far as that goes. B. Horing says, "Is the media going to go to sleep once B becomes president?" Well, they won't have too much to talk about. It's going to be mostly boring, right? They're going to have to find something else to talk about because he doesn't have any charisma. So no one's going to want to really. At first maybe they'll listen to him for a little while, but then after a few months they're going to be so bored they're going to be like, oh, whatever. They're going to all go bankrupt. They're going to have to ask the CIA for some kickback to stay in business, right? The advertisements aren't going to pay enough. They're going to have to call their CIA handlers and get some get some wire transfers from the Department of Defense to keep the news channels going, right? Get kickback from their CIA handlers. Yeah, we got to keep the mind control in place, guys. We need some money here. We're going to go out of business. CNN's going to go out of business. We need some cash. But I did hear that some people are pushing for Fox to try to be shut down, like Tucker and those guys. It's like, that's not going to happen. Ray Studio says, "Hey, Trev, remember me from your NWO live stream? I'm going to be starting my own podcast." Oh, that's cool, Ray. Well, send me, once you've done a couple episodes or something, send me the link and I'll check it out so I can hear. But all the exciting stuff might be over now. What are you going to talk about? I guess it depends. Well, you can always talk about Walking Dead when the episodes come back or stuff like that. TV shows, video games, fun stuff. Christovic says, "T is perfect example of Mind Wars, as is Alex Jones." Yeah, absolutely right. Well, I think InfoWars was created after Mind Wars was written. So Mind Wars was created, the concept, after Star Wars. They had Mind Wars. And then they created InfoWars in the 90s, right, with mid-90s with Alex or Bill Hicks. So they've got that there, and they used it a lot. I wouldn't be surprised if they shut it down at some point now, because it was sort of a failure and that people got hurt. So, or at least it got kind of taken over from the other side, and people just lost their head, or some combination of all the above is what, pretty much happened there. He is being exposed, Kelly. That's right. There's Hunter's laptop and that kind of stuff. So that's coming out. It's crazy stuff to think that will be out there, and that he will be in power at the same time. Oh, man. Absolutely crazy. Yeah. So let's see. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. So, okay. I think I did have some other stuff prepped. So will he go to jail? I don't think so. Will T go to jail? I don't think so. I don't know how you could put him in jail for that. I mean, he didn't personally do anything. He's done lots of rallies for years, and he did condone the behavior of the people who did it, which some were his supporters, some not, but some were. Yeah. So, but they totally lost control. There's no doubt about it. Yeah. Let's see what else we got here. So, okay, I think we went through all that. So, yeah, going forward, guys, I don't know how many more videos I'm going to make about this kind of stuff. We'll probably do entertainment, Walking Dead, TV series pretty much only, because I just don't know what the future is going to look like for censorship and for all this stuff is going to be. Man, I just think, like, if they see anybody saying anything that's controversial, I'm thinking that they might just shut it down because of this example that's been set now, which is absolutely crazy. So, yeah, you can't mess with the intelligence agencies, that's for sure. If they turn on you, you're screwed, basically. They can make you look absolutely horrible. Yeah, and no one will know. Like, we'll know, but other people, the masses, won't have any idea. They'll just eat it up. They'll have no clue. So, yeah, there is some talk about T trying to start his own platform or something. But, I kind of doubt that that's going to really take off or work, or that they'll let him. They'll probably try to stop him. It's sort of like Parler and that kind of stuff was being removed from other like app stores and stuff after there was like even the talk about him maybe going there. But another comment was the masses are so brainwashed with the general narrative that they have been taught taught through school, news, everything else. If anyone tries to wake them up before they're ready, they will fight you or they will hate you. So that's a really good comment. Yeah, it's very true. Psychological warfare is not to be taken lightly. It's very serious. And I think there's some quotes about that too. Like every war is won and lost in the mind, not on the is it called tarmac or not on the ground. It's in the mind. When people surrender, that whole thing. There's very few wars where people don't surrender at some point on one side or the other. Menace 1.5. We went into the one about the Trev will soon be without internet and TV and electricity for 10 days, according to the Q group info. What are your thoughts on that? Well, I do think there was an outage for power in Pakistan. I think there was a big power outage. I think High Impact Flicks did one on that on BitChute. I saw. I don't know if that's 100% true. If it was 200 million people, something like that were out of power for a while. But I don't think we'll see anything like that. They just keep grasping at straws that something's going to happen, something's going to happen, something's going to happen. And then nothing ever does happen for the disinformation letter after P group guys. Nothing's ever going to happen for them. Okay, let's see. Ray Studio said, my podcast will be similar to Joe Rogan, Tim Pool's, and InfoWars. Okay, well, that should be fun. I've actually never seen Tim Pool. I think he was on Joe Rogan once, but I've never really watched his videos or anything. He was saying something on Joe Rogan about China, I think. And I was like, oh, here we go again, right? China's the bad guy. It's all China. Everything's China's fault. It's like, it's not China, guys. It's not China. I'll disagree with Bill Hicks on that one. It's not China. China. They just blame China all the time because China doesn't have an ADL or something like that where they can defend themselves in that type of way. Well, they wouldn't even really care anyway. It's not like they manage it like other groups do. I don't think it's China coming to get us. No, they're not the bad guys. They're not coming to get us. If anything, we'll maybe lash out in our craziness. But no, they just make our stuff and do what they're told is my opinion on them. So yeah, but. So Menace, don't worry about that Anon crap. Stop reading that stuff. It's nonsense. Those people have been so discredited. There's no reason to even pay any attention to it at all, right? So, okay, a future no fix said hard to find much at all on YouTube from a conservative perspective anymore. Everything is pro-left. Yeah, that's the idea. And we keep in mind we're kind of in a new era too. Instead of just having the media, like the news, television channels, to get information, the internet is now heavy duty as well. And they've reined it in like crazy, man. I mean, with the censorship deal, you can't say anything against it or they'll rip your stuff down. And there's even hid comments right now. Jeff just sent one and they hid his comment right away, auto hid. So it's like, you can't say anything. They're going to control everything. And, the truth is just whatever they say it is. It's going to be might is right to find truth instead of what's actually true. It's going to be whatever we say is true. And that's all there is to it. So if you toe the party line like a Joe Rogan or maybe a Tim Pool, then you're fine. If you get more conspiratorial like InfoWars did, they'll ban you off there. And then you can only have your own band.video service at $25 million a year, whatever it costs to run. If you're connected to intelligence agencies, I would say. Yeah, so Jeffrey Lane said, now people want to fight when we told them for years and we were called crazy, right? Yeah, now people get what they deserve for being retards. Well, it's yeah, your next comment was it's effing straight. It's effing over straight up. Yeah, it's just whatever totalitarianism. That's where we're headed, man. Global totalitarianism. There's no way against it. It's whatever Klaus Schwab says, whatever the World Economic Forum says, whatever they say, that's what we're doing. There's not going to be any pushback. There'll be fake pushback from, Alex Jones and that kind of thing. You are the 1776 tip of the spear. Hey, the crazy guy with the horns had a spear with him. Did you guys see that? I saw the tip. He had a tip of the spear. Yeah, it's screwed, man. Well, but we can still be happy ourselves, though. Right, guys, we can still enjoy our lives and try to enjoy ourselves. We just got to be careful what we say in public, careful what we say on the internet, careful what we say in social media, and just enjoy our lives together, right, is fine. Ray said, and thank you for the super chat, Ray. I think we're heading towards a civil W in the States. So he does think that you guys are. After the dust settles, China and the rest of the USA enemies will take over what's left over. Well, yeah, I don't think there'll be now that T's out of the picture, I don't think there'll be a civil W, but it depends if the pyramid wants there to be one. If they want there to be one and they keep funding, okay, so here's how you create a civil W. Do you guys know the social engineering answer to create a civil W? Here's what you do. It's not that hard. If you're a capitalist, it's not hard at all. Here's what you do. You take a whole bunch of money and you find the craziest effing people you can find and you fund them. That's it. That's all you have to do. And then civil W will happen because you take this crazy nutcase over here and you give him 10 billion. And then you go to this crazy nutcase over here and you give him 50 billion. And then maybe you do some Masonic news events, so WWE events of people getting hurt. And then there you go. You've got absolute chaos. So as long as it's not manufactured to happen, I don't think it will happen. But if we get these big time, the money gods involved who want to fund certain crazy radical groups, I think No More News does a good job. If you guys haven't seen on BitChute, No More News, Adam Green is his name. And he does a really good job in dissecting down and going through some of the people that are involved with rebel media and some of these different that are funded by, it's like, it's cool. Anyway, watch it if you want to watch No More News on BitChute. Very good stuff. But he finds some of the people that are funded by different, groups. And, that's how you do it. You just fund extremists. That's all you got to do. And then just let them run amok and let them do whatever crazy stuff they're going to do. So, yeah. Yeah, Jeff, if people stop being divided, it would be fine. And, that's where peace is found, is if you reduce division. Now, if you take T out of the picture and you get unity together, then you're fine. You'll be okay. Now, not everybody's going to agree probably on what direction the pyramid's going to take things in, but it's not like we have a whole lot of choice. Anybody who does anything is just going to be, useless, I think, because it's not going to work. So civil W's, I don't think it's going to happen unless they manufacture it to happen. And I would say to anybody, don't get involved in that stuff because you'll just lose and it'll go their way anyway. If T can't do anything about it, if he couldn't do anything, and he couldn't do anything. Like these last few months and stuff, he can't do anything, man. So that's it, man. It's whatever. So anyway, Danielle says, interesting takes, Trev. Keep these live Sunday nights. Well, thank you, Danielle, and thank you for watching. I do appreciate or hope that you like it. and that people stay safe out there and they don't, do anything crazy. That's not what we want, because it's not going to change anything. Even if you did, you might think, oh, do something, whatever. It's going to make things. No, it won't. It just makes it worse, or it just whatever. It's not. You're not going to beat them. That's what it is. And now that the tech world is controlled as well, do you guys know when someone gets banned, they get banned from when they're deplatformed, they get deplatformed from every different service at once. There's even some people that have gotten their Patreon shut down, their PayPal shut down, their GoFundMe shut down. They'll go into all your accounts. If they ban you, they don't just ban you from YouTube or Facebook or Twitter. If you get deplatformed, they go into your PayPal, they go into your Patreon, they go into all your different stuff at once, and they shut it all down because it's an intelligence agency banning. So when that happens, all the different tech platforms shut you down at once. And then maybe they put a Wikipedia thing up, like with Stefan Molyneux, that he's a white supremacist or something, when he's actually Jewish. Should have played the Jew card, man. It's too late now. Should have done it. I didn't tell you. Whatever. I'm Jew. Anybody asks, I'm Jewish, right? I'm Jewish. Anybody asks, I'm Jewish. I'm like a little part, really small part Jewish, right? It's that's all you can do right now, man. But his mom, I'm pretty sure Stefan Molyneux's mom is Jewish, and he didn't play the Jew card. So it's his loss, man. You should have played it up. You should have worn the stuff and everything. And I don't know, whatever. Menace, screw it, man. Every man for himself now. I was corrupt system. What do you want? You get corruption. That's all there is to it. Okay. Menace 1 to 5 said, what do you think about the illegal alien crowds gathering around the border? Do you think it's still funded by George Soros or on their own account? See, that's the guy you got to watch out for. You got to watch out for those guys. You guys want to know who's really the people who you got to be careful. It's them. Those are the ones that you got to watch for. The capitalists, like I said, because if you're right and he funds them out the wazoo and gives them an order, then, they're going to follow it basically. So those are the guys you got to really watch out for, but no one ever talks about them. And if you try to in the mainstream news media, they shut you down. There was a guy, was it Nuke or somebody? Somebody was talking about George. And then all of a sudden the Fox, it wasn't Fox News. It was one of the news companies. And it was on BitChute. They shut him off, or they shut it off, and they switched from the news anchor who was losing control to some lady in the background who's like, I don't think that's pertinent to the conversation. It's like talk about whatever you want, but don't talk about the owners, right? Otherwise, you're going to be in trouble. So that's pretty much how it works. Yeah. But do you think they could do anything with them? Well, trying to predict what thoughts are in their mind or what they're aiming to do is very difficult. You can see different agendas and stuff like that. One of the ideas is that they want to weaken the United States and build up other countries now, like build up Israel, weaken the U.S. down, bring it down as a world superpower. But I don't know how you could do it when all your big tech companies started there, unless you move them or something to other countries, which maybe they will do that. Maybe they are, and maybe they will do that. I don't know. But I don't know how you could weaken the U.S. that much, or I guess for internationalism, they may want to do that for one reason or another. Maybe it's become too powerful or something. They want to kind of take it down a little bit or something. But we'll see. It's impossible to predict, though, Menace, what's going to happen, and him funding people at the border and stuff like that is well, there was that wall thing, too. What the hell is going to happen with the wall thing? It's are they going to tear it down? Maybe they'll tear the damn they'll tear the damn wall down, maybe. Or maybe they'll leave part of it forever and it'll just never be. Because I don't think he finished it, did he, before this time? I think it was still in progress, wasn't it? Building. Ray Studio says, I think we're heading towards this. All right. Yeah. So, yeah, he said that. I read that one about the Civil W one. Okay. Let me just make sure I think so to do. Yeah. Whatever. There's Jesus. Okay. Future, you got to tell me dad gone to. I think that's what people call the internet dad, right? Where did he do lagging again? Did I say a wrong keyword? Maybe I said a keyword I wasn't supposed to say. So, okay. Over and out. Oh, we're shut down. Us down. Damn it. All right. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Talking about Jordan Peterson, and then we lost it. Are we gone or am I gone? Yeah.